Flowers of Shanghai is a Taiwanese film. I don't remember the director. It's a Hsiao-Hsien. He basically focuses on the lives of several rich patrons or clients that hang out in brothels, and they are friends with the flower girls, which are a fancy word for prostitute at the time. However, it's very different from what you think it is, because first off, the cinematography is really interesting because it sort of like not hovers, but like it pans back and forth between conversations. There's no cuts, rarely, so it almost feels kind of intimate, like you're almost like a third-party viewer, a fly on the wall, or you're like a servant standing there with a jug of wine or tea, and you're privy to all of their intimate moments, because the opening scene is basically just a bunch of rich men just, you know, playing drinking games, and then we get some drama going on with Mr. Wang. He's played by Tony Leung. He wants to see a new girl, and you know, they start throwing a hissy fit because his regular girl doesn't see other clients. That's what she says, because he promised he would be her only client and then he would pay off her debts. The way the prostitution works in this movie is that the brothel basically grabs young girls. They buy them when they're 6 or 7 or 8, and they basically learn all of the trades of being graceful and like cooking, and I don't know if cooking is one of them, but they basically learn all of the arts of being a courtesan. So maybe they learn music and singing and things like that. And when they get older, they become superstars, and men come from all over to spend time with them. And however, they are indentured to the house, so you have to pay a exorbitant sum of money, several thousand taels of silver, in order to make them free. And just because you pay that amount does not mean that they're indebted to you. And when you free a flower girl, they're free to just not marry you and just be a normal person, a civilian, and then they can marry above their station, or they can marry the patron. It's really strange the way it works, because the main man, Mr. Wang, he wants to marry Jasmine, and he offers to pay her debt, and she's like, yeah, but my mom doesn't want you to marry me, so he just doesn't. And you know, she's sad of that, and you know, she treats him like crap, and it's really weird. You know, you think that the men would just get sick of being mistreated or led on, but the way of the time is that they were sought after. There was almost like a worshipping kind of thing going on, relationship. And I didn't know this, but apparently it's like 4 different brothel houses, and we're jumping back and forth. I thought it was all the same house, so it was kind of weird. But the acting's pretty subtle. It's 90% conversations, really, just people sort of like bargaining over things like that. It was really interesting, gorgeous set design. They constantly talk about the nice clothes and the jewelry and the furniture. It's a really interesting look at the time. It requires a lot of patience, though, for normal viewers. It's mostly like the subtlety in there. For me, it was intriguing, even though not much was happening. So I thought it was okay, and I will check out more films from the director. I give Flowers of Shanghai a 7 out of 10.